Mic check. Hello, host Eric here. Talking with famous people. And number 8, you're playing with fire, homie. I'll explain what you did wrong here, okay? I'm not even going to take you to the woodshed because you're a smart one. No doubt about it. And you're making some pretty basic mistakes. Easy to fix. No big deal. So he's talking about my systems analysis, public policy, and marmalade video. Says your discussion was too vague, in my humble opinion. I've done consulting work in the public sector and quite enjoyed it because you're working with qualitative outputs. You're trying to define quantitatively as part of a business case to get funding. One thing I'd say in public policy is that it's like economics. It's about consensus in political economy, no absolute specific theory well predominant. No, now, okay. Number one, you understand that was my central thesis, right? You say my discussion was too vague. It was as detailed as it could possibly be in 17 minutes, 51 seconds. Could I make a longer video? Sure. Your experience in the public sector makes me think you probably understand it less well than I then. I'm assuming. Because you've already normalized it. Take, for instance, your notion about speeding tickets, etc. You're assuming people are aware of catastrophic risk and manage it, which in reality people don't really. No, that's not what I'm assuming. It's a dangerous paragraph to say these sort of things, right? Because what did I actually say? I said, to the extent that people are engaged in changes to their driving behavior at all from tickets, one way or the other, that it's short-lived. I'm the one who said that, in fact, people drive more or less how they're going to drive. And that those who engage in systematically risky behaviors, that the check and balance on that is what? Did you remember what I actually said? Or you just make shit up that sounds good for you, or what? What I actually said, right, was that liability would attend to the equity issues associated with that, the justice issues, civil liability. And I pointed out that with a mandatory insurance law, then that is doubly the case. So I don't get it. I'm pointing out that we don't need the fine on the ticket because why? Because we've got mandatory insurance and we've got civil liability, and to the extent that people are engaged in criminally negligent driving behaviors, then to the extent that they cause damage and cause harm to another, there's criminal liability as well for actual harms done, right? That was my actual argument. Now, you said the way I see it, anarchy is just as bad as absolute government control. I didn't promote anarchy. I was advocating that we keep the tickets, we get rid of the fines, right? But did you listen to what I actually said? Hence, we're going to go somewhere in the middle of the debate with the debate over how much is ideal, which you elect, governments or Republicans, etc., yada, yada, yada. Okay, so do you understand what's wrong with this comment? I'm not advocating for anarchy. I'm not even advocating libertarianism really in this video. What I am advocating is an approach to public policy that accounts for the way that different kinds of systems behave differently in response to central management. I didn't deny that centralized government can have a positive impact. I specifically indicated that it depends on the type of system in which the application of government force is applied. Your comment has nothing to do with anything I said. The things you're responding to aren't my positions. And your position is, as far as I can tell, that you kind of like the government, and it's all mush anyway. So I don't know. It's just all mush anyway. We can't really know anything, and we'll just keep doing whatever. But that's your position, okay? It is possible to be principlist without having a single paradigm define the whole conversation. It is possible to acknowledge that we have to incorporate principlist understandings of vectors, both in terms of how application of force produces the outcome that it purports to achieve, that, and whether or not the individual citizen is the source of the legislation, right? Ultimately, we're a citizen democracy. Nobody thinks it's a good idea to pull somebody over for a minor teeny little infraction and have her end up killing herself in jail over the weekend because the cop decided to escalate, right? And maybe it's a black person. He looked at me funny, so I tased his ass, and now he's in jail. Fantastic. Well, nobody thinks that's a good idea. That's not a citizen democracy in action, right? That's not the citizens of this country saying, these are sensible rules for us all to follow. This is instead, yet, what we come to understand as the way that police are enabled to violate rights much more substantially than the rights violation implicit in the ticket itself. Of course, you didn't respond to any of that stuff, and you seem certain that you know what my position is, which is weird, because you started with saying your discussion was too vague, and yet you then proceed to make a bunch of declarative statements about what my position is, and all of your declarative statements are completely wrong. So I don't know, number 8. You lost a little bit of respect in that one. Thanks for watching Talk with Famous People, and don't, dear Lord, don't, do not forget to eat. Don't forget it. Do not forget to eat. Plenty of cheese.